Hi, everyone. Good evening. How are you guys today? Hi in the bushes. Hi, BC. Hi, Seal. One a second. I can hear myself. Got the live stream up still. How is everybody doing this evening? We are going to be talking about Wynter Wagoner again tonight, you guys, for a short period of time so that we can uh, kind of dive into some more of these details that are surrounding her case. For those of you guys who have not been familiar or been following Winter Wagner's case, she is missing right now. She is a 13-year-old girl, or was 13 years old at the time of her disappearance. I've seen a few things. I'm not sure, BC or Seal, do you guys know exactly when her birthday actually is? Because I have seen a few posts now that has referenced her as being 14 at this time. And I don't know, did she have a birthday while she was missing, or when does her birthday actually fall? Um, just something that I'm curious about. Public service announcement, though, before I go into the details about this case. I ran into a situation over the last couple of days with one of my children, and just so you guys are aware, Trivia Crack is not just Trivia Crack anymore. They do have chat and basically a social media platform on that app now. That's not something that I allow my children to have. They don't have social media. But they did have Trivia Crack because we used to play Trivia Crack all the time. Wasn't aware that they added that feature. Anyways, so if you are trying to keep your kids away from a social media type platform like Instagram, Facebook, whatever, just so you know, have to keep an eye on Trivia Crack now. These predators, these scammers, they're coming at our children from every different direction. And these apps, these games, like they just make it more and more feasible for these people to be able to come at your children. So protect your kids. That's all I can say is protect your kids. So Winter Wagner, though, let me pull her up. Hi, Ramblin' Rome. Good to see you. Maybe. It is. It's insane how many there are. It is absolutely insane how many there are. And I think what's more insane is the fact that these platforms just make it an open door for these creeps to come at your kids. So it's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so let me pull up this article first while we talk about Winter Wagner. Give me one second here. You're not sure on her birthday. Okay, thank you. So this is Winter Wagner, though. She is 13 years old at the time of her disappearance. I'm just going to say it that way. She has been missing since October the 14th. She had been picked up. I don't know what is going on. Can you guys hear me okay? Because my internet is glitching. It's not letting me change the pages. And so I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. So just put a 1 in the chat if you are able to hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. Hi in the bushes. You've only heard the okay, you can hear. Thank you. Hi, Libby. I don't know why it's not letting me change things. Let's try this. We'll try a different page. Okay, so this one is about the search. This was done back on this article is from back on October the 22nd. So this is an article that occurred shortly after the press conference that the police did. They just did a brief press conference, basically going over the document that I had shared with you guys yesterday, which is basically just saying that she is missing, that they are searching, that people are cooperating in the investigation and things of that nature. They did not go through like a horrible amount of details. But this is from Fox 56. And let's take a listen to what they had to say back on October the 22nd.
Has seen or heard from a beloved niece and daughter.
13-year-old Wynter Wagoner vanished from Rockcastle County the evening of October 14th.
It's very quiet, right? Let me try that a different way. So that we can audio boost it, right? And here we go with it stopping again. Ugh, I just wanted to pause. Know if we should wait or if we should. I don't know. Oh, no, I closed them both. What a noob. Ugh. Where's Ringo at when you need him to call me a noob? Oh, let's try this one. This is from the prayer vigil 6 days ago.
East Bernstadt is still searching for answers in the disappearance of 13-year-old Wynter Wagoner, missing now for more than 2 months.
LAX 18's Molly Demereau telling us how loved ones are asking the community to come together this weekend for a prayer vigil, hoping renewed awareness will help bring Wynter home. In tonight's big story at 5:30.
Wynter, I want you to know that you are loved, you are not forgotten, and we will always, always be here for you.
It's been nearly 2 months since anyone has heard from 13-year-old Wynter Wagoner, missing since October 14th. Her family says the silence has been heartbreaking and frightening.
Communication suddenly stopped after she sent a text message to her first cousin Paisley, claiming she was going to Florida. The family, we have emphasized that, we don't even know if that was Wynter that actually sent that message. Since that moment, Wynter's digital footprint has gone completely silent.
Miller says Wynter is a bright, playful girl, someone who leaves an impression on everyone she meets.
She loved things like Roblox and online games, and she would get so excited over simple things, even something as small as me buying her Robux last year. And, those moments really meant something to her.
That's why the family is holding a community-wide prayer vigil this Saturday, inviting people from Laurel County and far beyond.
When someone goes missing, it affects more than a family. It touches an entire community. And right now, we truly need that community to come together.
The family says anyone is welcome, and for those who can't attend,
I also have a Facebook group called Where is Wynter Wagoner, where we post updates and ways the community can help. And for anyone who cannot attend in person, I will be live streaming the vigil directly in that Facebook group, so everyone has the chance to join us in prayer and support no matter where they are.
they're asking the public to
Keep sharing her information, stay aware, and report anything, even small things, because you never know which detail might be the one to help bring Wynter home.
In Laurel County, Molly Demereau, LEX 18 News.
So that was from 6 days ago. They just recently did that that awareness, that prayer vigil, to be bringing continuous awareness to the fact that Wynter is still missing. This family deeply cares about the fact that they cannot find her, and they have just been searching and putting out awareness for her as much as they can, and they're asking us to do the same thing. So this is the Facebook group. I did drop it in the chat there if anybody is interested in following that Facebook group. But also, there is a plethora of videos on TikTok, and we're actually going to take a look at a few of these TikTok videos because some of the people in her family have done interviews at this point. We're going to take a look at her mom, her biological mom, I should say, her video, and then we're also going to take a look at her biological father. And I say it that way because she was currently staying with foster parents at the time of her disappearance. Now, this is not the first time that Wynter has went missing from these foster parents' home. She had run away at one point And at that time, she only made it about a mile up the road before she contacted her paternal grandmother. And so the family is just concerned because this time, whenever she decided to run away, or if she didn't run away, she could have been taken, she could have been lured, she could have had a lot of things that happened. There could have even been foul play in this situation. There's not really been any indication as to what direction that we're really looking at. And just to be completely honest, there is a lot of interesting characters, I'll just say, surrounding this entire case. And so it really just does add to the chaos and the confusion. I like to think that in most missing cases, usually it's the simplest answer. Usually we are looking at a situation where something simple happened and that child has the ability to come home. Most missing children have the ability to come home. And so I do want to just hold on to hope that Wynter is findable, that she is okay, and that we will be able to help her come home. And Wynter, if you are watching this video or if you are seeing the coverage that is going around about you, please reach out to your family and at least let them know that you are okay. Hello, Shadow. How are you? Hi, Annie Lou. Good to see you guys. So the best way to help the videos, though, in any of these situations, especially since my channel has been dormant for a long time, guys, is to make sure that you hit the like button, that you share the videos, comment on the replays afterwards. Even if you don't necessarily agree or disagree with some of the things that I say, please still leave your comments. I want to read them. I want to get input on this case. I'm learning about a lot of this case live with you guys. I did look into it a little bit, and I've kind of gathered up some information to be able to share with you guys, listen with you, and so that we can kind of discuss this case. However, I don't want this to be a case. I want this to be a child who comes home, and that we are all just crazy with all of our speculations, and she's able to walk back through the door someday completely fine. That's my hope. But we all know that I have covered many cases that I have felt, maybe the kid was okay, and then next thing you know, they weren't. So it's hard to say. It's really hard to say what's going on. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share this TikTok video. This is a clip from an interview. It's not the whole interview, but this is a clip from an interview from sorry, from Wynter Wagoner's mom. She did come on and do an interview with some of these TikTokers. Like I said, on TikTok, they have been doing a substantial amount of awareness and coverage for Wynter, which is great because as you guys know, with teens, most of the time they're going to be on these social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, things like that. They don't hang out with us old fogies over here on YouTube quite as much. But they are, out there in the social media land. And so we're going to take a listen to this interview and see what she had to say. Then we're going to start to listen to her dad's interview as well, or one of his interviews, I should say. And yes, I did call us all old fogies over here on YouTube. You're welcome. Feel how that feels right now, because my pastor totally referred to everybody over 30 years old in our church as vintage the other day, and I felt like so freaking old in that moment. Not 30, but I'm 36. It's vintage enough apparently. Hi, Rhonda. Nope. I don't have the sound on. Where is the sound button on the YouTubes? No, what is this? TikTok. Why can't I hear it? Can somebody tell me how to make the sound work? I'm too old. Just kidding. I seen there, it's like right there, but it won't let me click it. What is going on? Every time I try to scroll down to click the sound, it like keeps going. Like I can't stop it from scrolling. See? I'm so freaking old. And right, it makes you ancient. I know, 2 days in a row. Hi, Ringo. How are you? Why is that sound button like hidden from me right now? Does anybody know how to operate my computer? Unbelievable. It's like right there. Refresh. Maybe I need to unmute a video and then pray for the best, right? No. Let's try again. Hi, Lise. How are you? What is going on? How embarrassing. 2 days in a row. I don't know how to utilize my own devices. Got it. Oh, I found it. It was under the community guidelines thing. Okay, we're good. We're good. I got this.
And holidays. My daughter's been gone for what, 4 weeks now? Is there any way around this to get her, an Amber Alert? It's time for it. I'm baffled. I don't know. I feel helpless, and that's a bad way to feel as a mother. Because you really don't know what to do. I believe in prayer, and I believe in positive words. Positive words go so far. I want this to be known. I don't want it to be forgotten, and I want Wynter to know that we love her and she's not in trouble. She's not in trouble. If anybody sees my daughter out, let her come home. Get that child home. And if you're the one that has her, you're smart enough to do all this and lingo around everything, you'd be smart enough to get away with letting her go and come home safely. That would be great, no punishment to it. She'd be happy to be able to see her mommy and her little sisters, And I mean, I wouldn't even be mad just to hold my little daughter and feel her breath on my shoulder. Her telling me that she's glad to be home. Would mean more than any kind of Christmas present in this world. So that's all I have to say because I have no words. I have no words other than just everybody please keep positive prayer and don't give up on this child. It's the holidays.
So that was a clip from Mom, from a time that she was on an interview about this case. And as you see, there's a lot of emotions, as there would be. I mean, let's think about this for a second. You're 13-year-old. We're not talking a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 20-year-old. Not that it minimizes the emotion whenever they're older and more capable of things, but you're talking about a 13-year-old child. And at this point, I don't know her date of birth. If anybody knows when her actual birthday is, please let me know. And I'm interested to see how long has she been 13? You know, or is she getting ready to be 14? Not that that changes the dynamics very well, but there is a little bit of a mindset change between 12 going into 13 and 13 going into 14. Your brain does develop slightly more in that time frame. You start thinking about things a little bit differently. And it could change, her reactions, where she could possibly be, things like that. But how much, I don't know, right? I just don't know. And so let me get this on right here.
If you don't mind just, introducing yourself and telling us who you are.
Yeah, I'm Winter's father, Dusty Wagner.
Okay.
Hey Dustin, it's nice to meet you. I am from the area myself, and we've been trying to get Wynter's name out there and word out there, and we've been speaking with I guess Summer's boyfriend's mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you
No,
tell
you
us?
speaking of Collar?
I'm sorry.
You said you speaking with Hey now? I'm sorry.
Summer's boyfriend's mother.
Okay, yeah, Elizabeth.
Yes. Yes, and
Okay.
we first and foremost want to say we're praying for.
sorry, they're talking about Summer and Summer's boyfriend's mother. They're talking about Summer is Winter's mom. Sorry, I feel like I should I guess I haven't told you guys family names and things like that yet, but Summer is Winter's mom, and then her boyfriend's mother, he just referred to as Elizabeth, I believe is what he said. But her boyfriend that they refer to throughout this, his name is Kyler, like Kyler. And so he allegedly, him and mom are on again, off again. She may or may not be pregnant with this guy, things like that. So this is just kind of some of the dynamics for the background for what Wynter has been dealing with, which is why I feel like this interview is a little bit important. This is a situation where dad mentions a couple things that could lead to it's just red flags, right? This interview has some red flags in it. And obviously she was staying in a foster home, and so she has been in situations in her home life that might not have been the best, right? That led to her actually being put into foster care to begin with. Dad was actually in jail. Her biological father, he was in jail, um, I believe twice throughout this whole time frame. She turned 13 in May. Thank you so much, Seal. I knew you would find it if I put you on it. Hi, Coot. Crazy old Cooter old G. Here we go.
The safe return of winter, and we're not going to stop. We're going to find winter, and we're going to pressure that we find winter. And is there anything that you would like to tell us regarding the disappearance of winter, like the people that were connected to winter at that time?
I know she, from what I've been told, she got a new boyfriend recently that she had broke up with her other boyfriend that she had been with for a while, and she got a new boyfriend, and I really don't know what went wrong. Winterbrook always did tell me that the foster parents were very good to her. She never complained about them at all. She always said they took her out and done everything in the world, everything they could do for somebody, and they helped her a lot. So I really don't believe personally that it lies within the foster parents and myself. I know that about 3 weeks before she had come up missing, she had a little incident with some money that they said she had took or something off of them and got into some trouble, so they took her phone from her. Well, she was supposed to get to call me, but she never did get to call me back after that. And so I really wasn't in contact with her for the last 2 to 3 weeks. I hadn't got to talk to her because she was grounded from her phone,
Right.
So all of these different things that we see in her life leading up to this, she had broken up with her long-term boyfriend and got a new boyfriend, which I'm not sure if this boyfriend is somebody that she knows in person, if it's somebody that she knows online, um, stealing money or taking money that she wasn't supposed to, however you want to rephrase that, and getting in trouble on her phone and ending up grounded just 3 weeks beforehand. That's all huge red flags, guys, for situations that we have seen before in the past with some of these kiddos that have run away with or lured out of the home, I guess I should say, by some of these different predators that we have seen. And we know of at least three of our teenagers that we have covered. Actually, I'm just going to say 3 well-known teenagers that we have covered. We have covered several other teenage cases where they were lured out of their home by predators. The one was taken, met up with a guy at a basketball stadium and was taken and was gang raped. You know what I mean? And so these are situations sometimes that they walk away with this person willingly. They walk out of their home willingly because they think that they're in love. They think that they're talking to somebody that cares about them. They think that they're getting this uh, part of their life fulfilled that they're desiring and they're needing, and they think that everything is going to be okay, and then they fall into these scams. They fall into these situations where maybe somebody's trying to extort them for money. We're seeing a lot more sextortion pop up And then we're also seeing these situations where sometimes they physically leave their home thinking that they're going to be with somebody who's their same age that they know, that they think they know, and then they find out that it's a 20, 40, 50, whatever year-old man that keeps them from being able to make contact. We've seen it time and time again. And they leave on their own, but then they aren't able to leave that situation. And I hope and pray that that's not what's going on. I really do. I hope and pray that something else is happened, and maybe she's at a friend's house that doesn't want to speak up, or maybe that she's somewhere close by that she's kind of keeping tabs on the situation. But I just have a sinking feeling in my gut with the breaking up with the long-term boyfriend, having issues on her phone, and taking money and things like that leading up to all these events. It's huge red flags. Huge red flags. It's very Alicia Navarro, very Kaylee Jones, very those types of Gracie Mitchum, types of scenarios. So anyways, let's keep listening to Dad.
She was supposed to get to call me, but she never did get to. But from what I understand, though, she took off and said something about going to Florida. But it's always been very confusing to me because I don't know if it's to throw somebody off or what. Because she doesn't know anybody that we know of in Florida. She has no family down there. She has no ties to being down there. She's never been there. So my guess is that I personally think that she's probably planned out going somewhere. And she's somebody that she felt comfortable with, I think, or and they'd come and pick her up. And I'm hoping and I'm praying to God that she's just hiding out somewhere. I'm not sure on that. There's no evidence of that. It's just something I'm hoping for. But Winterbrook before though, she's ran off once before from there, and immediately she called my mom, wanting to come to my house, wanting my mom to come pick her up. So I do find it very concerning that she's not been online and she's not made any efforts to get up with any family members at all, because that's where
right. So she would want to come to your house. She's called you before to come and get her, so she would want to come to your house, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she was definitely looking forward to me coming, because I was going through the courts. I just got out of jail with the child support stuff. But I was currently going to court, and she knew that I was going to court to have her arranged to where she can come up here and start staying with me, because I had to go through all the process and stuff to do it, So I find it very hard to believe that she would just walk up out of there in a way. But everybody's saying that without being coached or something, somebody had to help her. And I just don't see how a 13-year-old girl could just walk off and not have somebody helping her in some way.
Right, especially like you said, she called your mother to come and get her the last time she made it a mile up the road.
Yeah, immediately she called, and you know what?
Dustin, it's Chef here.
I found so concerning because.
Yeah, sorry, but I was just more. What's your thoughts on this burner phone?
That's the first time I ever heard about it, and I've never heard of it before. She never gave me no number for it, which is very odd because she's always given me her numbers, when Winterbrook and her phones. But they've always gave me. She's always given me a way of contacting her, and literally the last time that I spoke to Winter, I told her how important it was that she never leave me unanswered. You know what I mean? Just leaving me worried about her. So that's another thing I do find concerning because she knows how much I do worry about her and how much I love her. Me and Winter's close. I love her with all my heart. And it's just, I really don't know what to think about the burner phone.
So here's another huge red flag. Winter had a secondary phone. It only worked on Wi-Fi. I don't know if they said that yet or if they say that in a minute. But I'm leaning more and more, guys, towards this is some type of predator or some scenario like that. I really, really am. There are so many kids that are targeted online day after day after day. And I don't know how many of you guys watched the video that I did with about John Rich, who covered the internet safety and things like that. And he was talking about I believe he said 500,000 online tips for sextortion and for these kids that are being targeted through the internet and stuff like that just last year. I got to look up the exact number, but it was some insane number. And it's such a viral thing right now that these people are sitting in their computers in Nigeria or wherever the heck they are, and they're targeting these kids in those types of situations. And then on the flip side of things, you have these people who actually are in the States, who actually are close enough to get at these children, and they're getting them to leave their homes, sometimes not even with a mail. We know that Kaylee Jones got into an Uber that was meant to pick her up a few streets away. She walked a few streets away to get picked up in an Uber. We had a situation where they had a female lure somebody out, telling them that, oh, she'll help them get a job, she'll help them get set up, things like that. And again, took her to a place that she did not want to be. And yeah, they tell them everything that they have to get them to leave their house. And I don't think it's any child's fault. Any child under the age of 18, that, or even older than that. I mean, some people are still so young at mind even after they turned 18. But I don't think it's any single one of their fault if they leave their homes thinking that they're going to have such a better life, and then they get stuck in these situations. And there's a reason that we have so many hundreds of thousands of missing teens in this country. But that scenario leaves us with a situation where she could have the ability to come home. She could have the ability to be found safe and things like that. And I always try to focus on these scenarios where, she's alive out there somewhere. I am hoping and praying that this is not a foul play situation where somebody has done something to her. And so she doesn't have the ability to reach out to this family. I'm hoping and praying that she's not uh, you know, deceased, like some people are trying to speculate and things like that. I'm going to keep hoping that she's alive and that she is out there and that she can be found. Yeah, in the past you've noticed a difference in the coverage of those cases. I agree. With the foster families, it's because so anytime a child goes into the system, the foster families, they're kind of limited with what they're able to do because by contract, they're not supposed to talk about these children. They're not supposed to share pictures of that child. Typically, they're not even allowed to post on social media, things like that, unless the biological parent gives some type of permission to them to use their child's photos and things of that nature. But I think that's why so many kids in foster care or even in these circumstances, like in foster homes and things like that, group homes, get targeted to run away, to leave their areas and things like that. Because once they're gone, most of the time, the missing flyers on NCMEC, they'll have no photo. It'll just be a gray square with the details, and most of the time it'll be a one sentence about what happened to them, one sentence for their disappearance or where they were last seen. And if not, then sometimes it'll be a photo from before they were put as wards of the state. And so I'm very, very thankful, despite her parents' flaws, that they are coming out and they are being vocal and they are doing what they have to do to get her face out there. It's very clear that although they've put themselves in situations where they might not always love themselves the best. They might not do what's right by them to themselves. But it is very clear to me that they do have love for Wynter and they do care about her circumstances and about her being found. How is that supposed to find the child? Yeah, it makes no sense. But it's the never-ending gap of the things. Like I'll pull up NCMEC right now. I'll pull it up right now. Let's listen to him while I pull it up.
I don't understand how somebody could have gave her a phone and not have some kind of a number or something to contact her on it. You know what I mean?
Right, because it seems odd that she would just take off with the burner phone because according to Mimi, who is the Summer's ex-boyfriend's mother, it only worked on Wi-Fi.
Did they let her have it at all? If they're going to take her phone to begin with, So that never kind of made sense to me.
Yes, and I was speaking with Mimi, Summer's ex-boyfriend's mother last night, and she told us that the burner phone could only work on Wi-Fi. And we're still unsure who gave her that burner phone.
That's what I was told. They said that, well, from what I understand, it was the boy that she just recently started dating.
This is our current missing kids right here. Our current missing children. Look at them all. It's insane. It's insane. 572. I don't know how much you guys can see this. Let me zoom it in. Look at the number of missing teens there is. Missing children. I shouldn't just say teens, but a lot of these are going to be teens. A lot of them. A lot of them close to the border. 572, 229, 515, 359, 340, ports of entry and the borders. Ports of entry and the borders, with the exception of Chicago area, Illinois. But this is your active missing person cases on NCMEC right now. It's insane that there is this many active cases that they know about, right? This is not every case. That's what makes it even worse. It's not every case. Active Amber Alerts, Alan Fisher and Rochelle Fisher. Let's see who they are real quick. This is from June 22, June 22nd from Idaho. How they are traveling is unclear. She's 15 years old at the time of her disappearance. 135 pounds, 5'5", and Alan Fisher. Obviously related. Says maybe headed to an FLDS group in Menden, Utah. How they are traveling is unclear, maybe with their adult siblings. So, but let's take a look. Let's just look at, let's just do that, I guess. So here's the situation right here. This is what I'm talking about. It used to be gray. Now it's a like blackish square with yellow. But so this missing child has been missing since May 18th, 2025, Richmond City, Virginia. She's 13 years old, or sorry, he's 13 years old, male. Last seen wearing a white t-shirt and black sweatpants. Hair is in an afro style. How are we supposed to know who this child is, what this child looks like? How are you ever supposed to find him? How? Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Scott H. Hi, Hope in Jesus. Welcome, guys. How are you ever supposed to find this child? But I'm gonna throw a dart at the wall and guess that this kid is in foster care or in some type of government care, and so they're not permitted, quote unquote, to put his photo out there. Guarantee it. And there's a ton of missing teens that do have their photos, but there's also these ones. Again, Virginia. Since December 3rd. Fairfax County, Virginia, 14 years old male. Last seen wearing a dark blue jacket, black pants, and he was carrying a pink backpack. What are you supposed to do with that? So I'm very thankful that in Wynter's case, we're not dealing with a situation like this. We do have parents who love her enough to care that she is missing and who love her enough to say, hey, put my baby's picture everywhere that you need to. Get her on the news. Let's hold these vigils. You know, her family cares. It's not just her parents, but it's her extended family as well. They care enough to share. They care enough to make sure that the pictures are out there. Because unfortunately, there is a lot of children in the system, and their flyers will stay on here for a long time sometimes. All these kids. But this is just one database. This is not every missing child. Not even by a stretch of the imagination. Unfortunately, this is not every missing child. But it's a problem. Another one with Virginia. Because I think I just have it on like alphabetical order or something along those lines. But the descriptions are always like, hey, she was wearing this, not where they were last seen, not what they were doing, not who they may be going with, not, well, she goes to school here, or, well, obviously you don't want to put maybe their school information out, but she was last seen heading in this direction, or she was at the mall, or wherever, like what are the circumstances surrounding her disappearance? We just got to go based off of a description that would fit probably, I don't know, 90% of children. And then that's what you get. That's what you get. It's frustrating. It drives me insane. Drives me crazy. But I also understand, whenever you start talking about like the privacy of the child and stuff like that, obviously you don't want kids going from foster home to foster home to foster home and being in situations where they're getting posted on everybody's Facebook and they're on everybody's social media. And, maybe that parent is still out there trying to fight for custody back, getting their life together, getting themselves fixed up, things like that. And so I can understand the privacy in that aspect. But what I don't understand is whenever our privacy, whenever parents' privacy, whenever the adults in the situation, their privacy outweighs the child's safety and what's best for the child, I will never understand that. I would never understand that. We dealt with the same thing whenever we were talking about the follow-up care and the different types of laws that they were trying to pass in Hawaii after Ariel Sellers' case. There's no reason that there's not follow-up care for kids who have gone through these systems, to make sure that they're seeing counselors, to make sure that they are helped after these situations, and to make sure that in cases like Oakley Carlson, that their parents aren't turning right back to drugs and abusing them again and or killing them in Oakley's case. And so there needs to be some type of follow-up care. But again, the adult's privacy outweighs the child's safety. And so it's frustrating. It's frustrating the whole way around. But I digress. I've got to get back on topic because otherwise we're never going to finish this interview.
He claims that he didn't know any kind of nothing for the phones. I guess he's the one that said that he had give her a phone, But I'm really pretty still unsure of who this guy really is, though. I'm not really got to talk to him myself personally. But I reckon she hadn't been seeing this guy long. I think he's a couple years older than she was, from my understanding.
Right. So that's I was gonna go there really quickly there, Dustin. And thank you very much, man. Like I said, the genuine out of your heart right now, sir, is like my heart, like my heart is with you and your entire family that are really trying to bring this your daughter home safe. So we do want to, we really want to tell you this this doesn't end at this phone call right here, sir. We're going to continue to help you in any way possible, and we promise you we're going to continue to help you. But we can get into all that in a bit. My concern with this new boyfriend, right? Has the authorities talked to him?
Yeah.
Does he have any
They went and followed up with him. They said no, he says he didn't know nothing. He says that he didn't even know. From my understanding, didn't even know that she's going to run off like that. But of course, I'd say anybody, if they're that young, they're not going to admit to something like that. I mean, especially if they thought that they was going to get in trouble by it. But I do know that they went and spoke to him, and he said that there was really no reason to think of anything suspicious of him.
Right. Now, obviously, are you aware of Summer's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, whatever they call him now, the one that's in prison right now, or jail, soon to be in prison? Are you aware of the allegations or that were between him and your daughter?
So right now he's talking about Summer, who is Winter's mom again, so we can refresh our memories. He's talking about Winter's mom's on again, off again boyfriend and allegations that something happened. You don't think she ran away or disappeared willingly. And I would love to have you come up, Seal, maybe a different night this week, so that we can talk about your theories, because I know you have been following this case uh, throughout the entire time. And so I would love to hear your thoughts and what you're thinking as far as the red flags and the things like that go. But this next thing that he talks about here, this is a huge red flag in this case. And so while I hope she's in a situation where she is able to come home and things like that, I do also have a lot of concern about some of the things that this poor girl had allegedly may have went through leading up to her disappearance. And could any of that be connected to why she has disappeared? And so that's where the red flags come in for me. And so obviously, I always approach everything with the hope that the child is still alive and that things happen. But unfortunately, we do have cases where boyfriends, ex-boyfriends, things like that, parents, boyfriends, even people just hurt children, right? It happens too much where people who are connected to the family, that the family is supposed to trust and love and be able to count on, that those people harm children. Um, and need I not mention Gannon Stauch and cases like that, right? We all know what I'm talking about. It does happen. And so those red flags are also there for me as well.
Yes, I was made aware of it when I went to jail, and I did talk to Wynter about it, and she told me this happened basically right after I had went to jail. He started doing this to her.
So sorry, when did you go to jail? Because there's a little bit of there's.
I think it's
Sorry, Dustin. We're just trying to get a timeline here so we can make this up.
August.
Okay.
I went to jail on August 27th of 2024.
August 2024 or 2025?
She was staying with me. Yeah. 2024.
So okay.
And I got out in June.
So
I was locked up for like 10 months. And then, but she was coming here then and getting dropped off, by her mom and Tyler. But one day she was here, and Summer was at work, I reckon, and he came to pick her up. And I don't know what it was that day. It rubbed me the wrong way, and I don't know if he kept brushing his arm up against her shoulder, and I asked Winterbrook right there in front of him, I said, look, Winter, I really don't feel very comfortable seeing you with him. I don't know him like that. I said, has he bothered you in any way or done anything to you? And he got all tore up about it, and I was telling him, I said, look, man, I'm asking my daughter, you just hush for a second, let me talk to her, and she told me then, said, no, he's never bothered me or nothing like that, but later on, when I found out all that stuff was happening, I was in jail, she finally told me, it took her a little bit to start talking to me about it, but she finally broke down and told me one day that he had done it like a day or two after that,
So what did he have done? What did he have done?
But, well, apparently he had been laying up on her and groping on her and laying in the bed and rubbing on her thighs and rubbing on her breast, trying to get her to do stuff. And she said that she told him to stop, and she told her mother about it. And her mother basically told her that she was lying and continued to leave her there with him, and she didn't go into much more detail than that. But on the court papers and stuff, it said that he was basically since the age of 11 started doing stuff like this to her. And, I kind of felt like that day. I don't know what it was that made me feel that way.
Mom's boyfriend since the age of 11 had been violating this child according to court paperwork. And my mind immediately goes to cases like Battle and Soto. I don't know. Why do some moms not believe their daughters? I don't know. And I don't even know if it's so much like a not belief or if they just don't want to believe it. Because what they're gaining from the relationships, whether it's financial or they're, feeling so loved and things like that, I think that they refuse to admit it to themselves, or oftentimes maybe they're on other substances or something like that. But unfortunately, it happens too often. It happens way too often where parents just ignore and disregard horrible, terrible things happening to their kids. Horrible, terrible things. And this is just what she told her dad about. This is just what dad's mentioned court records. This is just what she talked about. Did it go further than this? I don't know. I can speculate. I can read into it my own thoughts and feelings about if I was a kid who was saying this and was immediately shot down and people didn't want to believe me instantly, the lack of details that I would say and stuff like that. But could all of this be associated with what happened to her? I don't know. I don't know. We're going to stop right here for now. I'm going to I have to go to work, unfortunately. But I am going to come on again. We're going to keep listening to this interview. We are at 11 minutes and 9 seconds. We did not make it very far. But we will continue to listen to this interview on our next live and kind of backtrack, talk about some of the details. Maybe we can get Seal to come up with me so that we can talk about that a little bit more. Also, her thoughts and why she thinks that there's red flags and things like that that took place. But again, continue to like, share, comment on the videos, your thoughts. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Do you think I'm crazy for hoping, I guess, that this could be a situation where she was lured out of the home or left the home on her own? Or are you guys on the same level as on the same playing field, I guess I should say, as Seal, and the same thought process? Are you thinking more along the lines that she's in a situation, unfortunately, where she's no longer with us because foul play has taken place? I'm curious. So I will talk to you all. I'm not going to say tomorrow. What day is tomorrow? Friday. Trying to think. Hold on. Let me do something real quick. And I'll tell you if it's going to be tomorrow or not. I don't want to say tomorrow and then have Ringo throw daggers at me whenever I don't show up. But let me take a look. Is this time frame kind of working for you guys okay? This like 8 p.m. ish time frame, or are you guys needing something like earlier in the day? Or has everybody kind of been okay with this time frame? Let me see. Yeah, so we could potentially come on tomorrow night. I'm going to say potentially. I'm not going to commit to it fully, but we could potentially be here tomorrow night. So make sure that if you guys haven't got your notification ringing or bell ringing, hit that notification bell so that we can make sure that you're hearing about the lives whenever I come back. I am trying to come back, completely come back. So, keep an eye out. I'll be popping on here and there, hopefully with more notice than 15, 20 minutes, but we will see what happens. Yeah, you're hoping that she's still alive. Me too. Me too. All we can do is pray. All we can do is pray. That's it. You pray that she is alive and found soon. Yeah. It's all we can do. That's it. So, all right. I love you guys. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Perfect for you too. Good. Okay, Red Rock. I will see you guys tomorrow then, hopefully. Bye.